Oh, it looks like the stairs out here are kind of broken too. Wait, I should be able to get up on this. There we go.
Security system active.
Identity not confirmed. Access denied.
Oh no, as you try to use Mr. Manchester's invitation voice log to satisfy the audio identification authorization component, you hear a nasty sound coming from your Pip-Boy. It looks like the ancient holodisk has fried and broken. You'll have to find another sample of Mr. Manchester's voice.
Oh, damn it. There's a security camera and some sort of recognition device regulating access to one of Mr. Manchester's buildings. A photo? Maybe a voice recording too? It may take a couple of different things. Mr. Manchester was admittedly quite crafty, if an asshole.
Jerry, your shift is next, so I'm hoping you're the one that gets this. What do you think of this new assignment? This Mr. Manchester is one scary old guy. This pay is good though, so I guess I shouldn't complain. He wants to install a flagpole on his roof, so I'm up here trying to determine the most structurally sound place to mount it. It's a good thing I'm not afraid of heights. It's quite a view from up here. Did you hear about Ted Charlone? He worked for Mr. Manchester a couple of years ago. Supposedly he made a big mistake with the power grid and blew out a few primary capacitors and a pulse coil. Mr. Manchester was so mad that not only did he fire the poor guy, but he trumped up some fake charges of criminal negligence. The guy got 6 months in San Pedro for it. 6 months for a mistake! Make sure you study those power grid instructions front and back before you even get near those switches. I know that Darla's expecting soon, and it would be a shame to have to celebrate your child's birth from the clink. Good luck today. Oh yeah, do you know what Mr. Manchester's first name is? I'm afraid to ask him. See you later, Ben.
Ugh, I would kill Manchester if he wasn't dead already. Wait a sec, how are you even supposed to get up here normally? The walkway must have broken.
It's quieter up here than I suspected. High above the roar and whine of the city, a man can collect his thoughts and spend some quality time just thinking. My second night up here, I did something that I've wanted to do for quite a while. I disrobed and stood high above the land, staring down at the ground below me. I fell across the center, across that hole that's meant to hold a tree, the rough wood scratching, my breath catching as I held on, feeling the splinters gazing down through that hole. Stretched from one side to the other, gazing over 100 feet down, holding on with my fingertips and toes onto the aged wood. Far above any cameras or microphones, what an obituary were I to fall! I didn't fall, though, of course. H. Manchester never falls. I climbed back up and sat in my chair and poured another shot of my special brew. I think I will like it here.
Ugh. Here is a man who gets off on being naked above a city of pores. The fact that he could fall only excited him more because he's never worked a day in his goddamn life. Oh, I bet these stairs were supposed to lead up there. Alright. Well, that makes sense. Now, how am I gonna get another audio recording of his voice? Huh, I wonder if there's anything in here. Oh, wow. This green stone is everywhere. Manchester really liked his verticality.
Pond construction status. I can't believe that the project is finished. Ever since I was a child, I longed for my own private pond, stocked with fish in a little cabin to call my own. My methods have matured since those days of youth, but my sense of accomplishments has not. A just reward for 2.5 decades of intense, non-stop commitment. My own pond, 5.5 million gallons of water, and $750 million. The fishing hut rests over a dozen feet above the water's surface, supported by a complicated array of steel pipes and reinforced concrete. It's stocked with a fully functioning sink, bathtub, and toilet. All of these are fed by filtered water pulled directly from the pond. Both the view door and entrance door are constructed from military-grade reinforced composites, capable of deflecting small arms fire and rendering conventional methods of illegal entry ineffectual. I am eager to assess the survivorship of the initial pond stock. I paid nearly double, but the stock was individually checked for disease and stress before incorporation into the shipment. With luck, this attention to detail will increase the possibility of a successful transplant. Assess fish stock information. Stock manifests: bluegill, Lepomis macrocurus, 609. Rainbow trout, Anorchinus mycis, 45. Northern pike, Esox lucius, 25. White catfish, Ictoluarus catus, 60. Smallmouth bass, Micropterus dolomieu, 75.
Wait, are these those fish I've heard so much about?
Note to self: EC security. This new electronic correspondence looks like it might have potential, though I doubt it will ever take off. People like the feel of paper in their hand, the scratch of pen on parchment. Nobody wants to stare into an ugly green screen TV for hours. That said, I had to establish an amusingly titled passcode to access the system. Supposedly this acts as some sort of rudimentary privacy protection system, allowing only those with knowledge of the passcode access to the protected information. Just to test the system, I'll set it to the discrepancy between the stock manifest and the recent stock census for bluegill, multiplied by the discrepancy between the stock manifest and the recent stock census for rainbow trout.
Are you fucking kidding me? Alright. Also, why have you never heard of email before, you fucking asshole? Alright, let me check the stock information again. Let's see, the manifest says 609 for bluegill and 45 for rainbow trout. Now I'm gonna go look at the census. Is that information in here anywhere? Ugh. Oh, the census is in his desk. Oh, so that's what the fish look like. Oh, are you kidding me? Alright, let me look at the picture again. Of course he would use the Latin names. Alright, bluegill is Lepomis macrocharis, and rainbow trout is the Oncorhenchis mycis. Okay? Let's see the poster. Okay, so the smallest one is the bluegill, and this longer one is the rainbow trout. Now let me check the census. That small one at the top is the bluegill, so it's 468. So it'd be 609 minus 468. And then that one second to the bottom looks like the rainbow trout, and that was 42. I think it was 45, so 3. So 609 minus 468 times 3. 609 minus 468 is 141. And times 3, that is 423. Okay, so 4, 2, 3. All right, yeah.
Access granted to correspondence. Mr. Manchester, as promised, here's an electronic correspondence detailing the location of the recording studio. Successful receipt of this message has activated your security card, even if it's not currently on your person. As a precaution, I've provided you with 2 access cards. It is recommended that you keep one of them in a secure location. It is possible that this correspondence will only activate 1 access card at a time, so you may have to access your EC a second time if this occurs. Unfortunately, I was unable to acquire access rights to any professional studios during the brief time this project passed from conception to execution. I was able to secure a small, low-priority station in time to meet our deadlines. The name of the place is Sal's Sound Shack. Don't be fooled by the rather quaint name, it boasts some impressive equipment that should do everything we need. Sadly, due to the time constraints and a small miscommunication with my secretary, I was unable to get the exact street address. However, the proprietor of Sal's Sound Shack knows of your fine residence and said his sound studio is nearly due east of your estate, perhaps just a bit to the northeast. Thanks again for your time. Roy.
Okay, a sound studio. That might have a recording of his voice. Ah, damn it. It said needed an access card of some kind. I don't know, maybe I could look around the shack to see if there's anything, but at least I know where the studio is, so I could just go there and see if I can find an access card there. Oh wait, it's right here in this safe.
Mr. Manchester, I realize your reluctance to participate in the public relations fact of your corporation. As you frequently remind us, your valuable time is much better spent in the laboratory or construction yard than concocting advertisements. However, I strongly believe that adding a face and a voice to the Manchester presentation composite would reap benefits for the bottom line. People like to be able to attach a face and a voice to a company, and such a strong personality as yours would be a unit mover for sure. In order to make your participation as brief and non-disruptive for you as possible, I've arranged access to a small recording studio for you. Inside the recording studio is a camera to capture your likeness and some recording equipment. Please read the script left there for you so we can capture your voice for our presentations. A couple of takes should be fine. Our sound engineers can run post-process on anything you record to fit into the advertisement slot and budget. I've sent the location and authorization to your electronic correspondence account. Once you read the correspondence, it will activate your security card. All you'll need to do is hit the button below the terminal screen and it should read your card. This new card reading technology is pretty exciting. It will be interesting to see if it generates a market of any consequence. Thanks for your time. Roy Barger.
Alright, well, I guess I'll head to the sound studio and get that recording. Oh, I wonder if that building is the sound studio. I can't exactly read the sign. Wait, Sal's Sound Shack. Yeah, that's it, that's it. Alright, this card should give me access.
Security system active.
Authorization successful. Access granted.
Alright, awesome.
Victor Band Music. You'd stand on a corner or rush to a window any day to see a band go by. The Victor makes the world's greatest bands parade before you as you sit in your easy chair.
Nice artwork.
Hello, my beautiful America. This is President Eden, and it's time we had a talk. It's time we discuss something rather important. The issue at hand is, well, my presidency. The question has been raised, I know, as to just how I came to be elected to this most illustrious...
Oh, I already heard about this.
Or whether or not I had being elected at all.
Fuck you. Don't want to listen to this shit. Alright, well, there's a bunch of notes here.
Guys, you've done a fantastic job so far with the equipment. Sassy Susie is a tough lady to please, and she left here last week with a grin on her face. I think we need to tighten up Station 2 a little bit. We're getting a faint echo on most of the material coming out of the process. We have a full schedule for the next 2 months. It's great to see word of mouth finally getting around and scaring up some business for us. We went through some lean times for a while there, but now that the equipment has paid off, we should start seeing some black ink on the books. Here's a quick rundown of the acts coming to our studio within the next 2 months. September 4th, Rascal Pete. September 8th, Toe Biting Larry and his Chicken Foot Jug Squad. September 11th, canceled due to arrest, Savage Sam and the Cow Tippers. September 16th, Sassy Susie and the Bayonets, a new EP, our first repeat customer. September 18th, Brownie McBroom's Fine Fellas. September 22nd, Junior Jitterbug. September 23rd, Frankie Smokestack and the Fossil Fuels. September 28th, Bug-Eye Billy and the Glue Sniffers. September 30th, Blind Lemon Lips. October 2nd, Dancin' Dan and the Boys. October 5th, Sweet Sally O'Malley. October 8th, Lucius Lucy and the Torpedoes. October 11th, Stan Lordy and the Shorties. October 14th, Springvale Children's Summer Choir. October 17th, Stinky Sam and the Stains of Dubious Origin. October 20th, Popsicle Pete and the Swamp Rats. October 23rd, The Sound and the Fury. October 27th, Dusty Waters. Stay sharp. If we keep this level of recording momentum going, there should be enough money in the pot for a nice fat Christmas bonus for everyone. Sal.
Oh, well, that's a lot of bands I've never heard of. Ooh, great tune. It sounds like it's on a banjo. Oh, that was nice.
Fred, thanks for sitting in on that last session. The regular flutist came down with whooping cough or some darn thing and wasn't able to make it. If you're willing to sit in for the next week or two, I'll try and make it worth your while. I think you pulled off some good work on that final set. I can't remember the last time I heard so much life out of a cut of Bog Stomper blues. One thing I do need to mention though, and don't take this personally, but it's a studio policy. Please don't spit on the stage during the performance. I know this place is a bit dusty, but I can't have players hucking up oysters right on the stage. If you want, I'll be glad to bring in a bucket for use during the rehearsal sessions. See you on Tuesday, Sal.
You know, this Sal guy seems like an actual reasonable and nice person. I highly doubt he would have gotten along with Mr. Manchester. Well, I mean, as far as pre-war bosses go. It is a pretty low bar. Oh, bathrooms. Or back rooms? Huh.
Sal's Sound Shack. New speakers, military quality, recording equipment, friendly staff, group rates. Best sound in the business.
Oh, it's just an ad for this place. It's kind of funny that they put an ad in the place that they're selling.
When I arrived this morning, I discovered a recording near the sound station. It looks like Mr. Manchester showed up sometime last night and used the gear to create an advertisement for his company. I'm not sure why he felt the need to do this recording in the absence of others, but I'm not going to complain. The man laughed a rather spicy bottle of booze here. I suppose he must have belted down a shot or two of liquid courage before starting the recording fun. He's a pretty sharp guy from the look of it. He managed to get the equipment working and made a nice trimmed recording. No wonder Roy said the man's eccentricity was matched only by his smarts. I'll lock his recording away in the vault till I get a chance to send it on this weekend. I think I'll throw his brew in there too for a nice nightcap this coming Friday.
Oh, yeah, he had no idea how awful Manchester was. Oh, nice display. Aw, is this where Sal died? Aw, that's probably his wife and kid. More death from the Great War. That is the biggest TV I've ever seen over there.
Robco Service Terminal version 6.0.3.2.1.a. Lock recording vault. Locking vault. Recording vault information. This recording vault is locked. You will need the correct passcode to access the vault. Once the passcode is entered successfully, the vault will be opened automatically using a patented Robco technology. Attempts to reverse engineer, decompile, or otherwise modify this security feature will result in prosecution as stated under Standard Access Document 4.8.3.8.5.44. Robco Security 6.0.0.1 Protocol. Autobiography. I don't know why Meryl keeps pushing me to write an autobiography. Who'd want to read the thing? It's not as if I'm a famous baseball player musician. I just run a little sound recording studio. Well, if it'll make her happy, I'll try to get started on it. Chapter 1. I'm Sal. I was born in 2025 in Casa Grande, Arizona. My mother was a librarian and a good woman. She took care of me and my little sister Amanda. She had a tough road to travel. My dad ran out on us when I was 4, and it was all she could do to keep the family together and make sure we were fed and safe. I was too young to know why he left. Later on, I gathered from little snatches of conversation between her and her friends that he had been a drinker and physically abused my mom from time to time. It apparently was a bit of relief when he left, despite the hardships it presented. When I was 10, we learned that my father had been killed by a train. According to the papers, he got drunk and passed out on the tracks. Not sure how they knew. Maybe just making stuff up for a good story. Although in the paper's defense, it's hard to think of any other reason why a man would take off all of his clothes and lay down in the middle of some railroad tracks. I'll never forget my mother's face when she heard the news. Sorrow, relief, vindication, confusion, all passing over her face like shadows. She didn't cry, but she hugged Amanda and me so tightly I thought she was going to break my ribs. My adolescence was filled with the typical tales of a boy growing up in the Southwest, chasing my way through the dusty streets with friends, catching lizards, stickball. Hot and dirty and filled with laughter we ran. When I was 17, I held down my first real job, an accordion repairman. You wouldn't think that there would be much of a market for that, but that was about the time when Abe's Accordion Brothers were pretty big in the circuit. There were 50 of them, and once a month they'd put on a big show for the town. If you've never heard 50 accordions all playing at once, well, it's certainly something I'd advise taking in before you take the long sleep. Those brothers would kick up such a noise that you could barely hear yourself yell. The town loved them, and so did I, as there was always a couple of weeks of repair work after they were done with the long weekend set. By the time I was 20, the brothers were done with the Southwest Circuit and were getting ready to head east. I'll never forget that year. It's the one that set the course that changed the rest of my life. On a whim, I decided I wanted to go with them. I asked Abe if I could tag along and keep their gear repaired for them in exchange for room, board, and a little pocket change. To my surprise, he thumped me on the back, pumped my hand, and pointed to one of the boxcars. After a teary goodbye with my mom and my sister, I hopped on that train. Still remember them waving to me through the dust that rose up behind the train as it took off. In part 1.
Wow, he had a hard upbringing. He had a sister named Amanda, too.
Reject, Ben.
Oh, baby. Oh, I gotta say, just the sight of your face makes my heart race. I nearly stand it. I've gotta have it, baby. You gotta give up some of that love gravy. 'Cause when I see your face, it really puts me in my place. 'Cause if you think that I'm not a fool for your love, well, spin around and give me a shove. I've got nothing, baby, if I don't have you. It's so true. So before you walk out of that door, think of the man standing behind you.
Wait, why was this rejected? This one was better than that other song.
Hey, Salamander. I'm looking forward to getting a chance to come visit you guys next weekend. I'm eager to see the baby. He sure is a cute little bugger. It looks like he definitely didn't take after his daddy. Har har. I'm going to have an interesting week. I have to give a presentation at Alexandria Arms. I'm demonstrating some new hunting equipment from Tiger. Corporate is footing the bill, so I'll be there an entire week to mingle with the conference attendees and chat up the new gear. They must have a lot of faith in this new toy of theirs to front the money for an entire week at that place. It's one of the ritziest hotel conference centers around, and as far as I know, you've probably driven past it. It's close to the Arlington Library. They even opted for the special security suite, with a small security room. Okay, I'm going to wrap it up and get this in the mail to you. Shelly is complaining about the yard again, so I better mow it before she makes a fuss. See you in a week, buddy. Lucas.
Oh, right.
It is advised that researchers travel to my personal cabin, located far west of the town of Springvale and northwest of the F. Scott Key Trail and compound to recover the Malayan. I have included a key to my cabin.
I remember seeing some stuff about this at Alexandria Arms. Ah, damn it. I was hoping I'd find something to help me with the passcode. It's probably something in his autobiography in that case. Let me check it out. It could be 2025 since that's the year he was born. Let me try that. Oh, damn it. Alright, let me read it some more. Oh, it was 2045. That was the year when he left for the East Coast with that accordion group. I got it.
Password correct. Unlock vault.
Call me on your front lawn. Drop a Manchester, he'll be gone. No red can stick around when they see a Manchester lying on the ground. Manchester Mod. Manchester Mod. Manchester Mod. Manchester Mod. Explosive excellence.
Wait, weren't mines considered war crimes? Did America just not care since they pulled out of the UN? Yeah, I bet that's it.
My heart is the heart.
I don't like that they used the slur. Oh, I think Sal specifically focused on a very old-time aesthetic. Oh, well, that would have saved me some time. Anyway, I got that recording of Manchester's voice, so let's go. Alright, back to Manchester's.
Good morning, Mr. Manchester. Access granted.
Okay, that opened it. Well, I guess that autograph picture was good for that at least.
Mine system offline. Ignition piston absent.
Huh, that must be a machine that makes mines or something. Ugh. Alright, what else is here?
Place in spirit box. 1 vodka, 1 scotch, 1 purified H2O, 3 flamer fuel.
Oh, that must be the recipe for his special brew. Aw, Hoffenstein, I could have gotten you more. Oh, that was just for the view. That feels kind of unsafe.
I wonder if there are any Twinkies left.
That also feels very unsafe.
Another day in the wasteland.
He literally had a fucking display of all his fucking mines from his company. Ugh. Damn. I know the damage these things can cause. I've tripped over a few of them. I really don't even want to use these. Wait, I've never seen this one before. I'll take it, but I'm not ever gonna use it.
My toxic D mine is almost finished.
Oh, I guess he reserved that spot for a new mine that he was creating. Of course. Oh, this goes out into the lookout. But there's a terminal here.
Mine development terminal. Mine engineering. Engineering reports for my modified deployables have been mostly positive. My desire to replace the heavier components of standard mines with lightweight replacements bore some delicious fruit. Mine's the weight reduction factor of up to 50%. In addition, a reworking of some of the internal explosive chemicals increased the payload by upwards of 75% in most models I reverse engineered. Modifying the timer mechanism will likely result in more effective distribution of the payload to the target. A 3-second delay was initially intended to allow encumbered troops or vehicles to increase the likelihood of a 0-point blast to maximize damage. In testing, however, targets of even moderate mobility often had time to clear the center of the blast radius, often receiving minimal shrapnel and concussive deliveries. A shorter interval will decrease the mitigating effect of target mobility on payload delivery. This will, of course, necessitate additional care and handling amongst troops deploying the devices. If they can't exercise suitable caution around explosive devices, perhaps losing a few fingers would teach them the benefits of attention to detail.
So Manchester, I guess you actually did some of your work yourself. The work being friendly fire.
Toxin D development. I was interested in establishing a different breed of field-deployable solution. With the successful completion of the Pyro-Sieg project, I've been able to devote more time to my secondary project, Toxin D. My chemists have developed a most unpleasant toxin. They've dubbed it Toxin D, and has a number of unique qualities that bear elaboration. It's similar to Betrax toxin, a nasty little coop of cardiotoxic and neurotoxic steroidal alkaloids found in arrow frogs. It induces a massive release of acetylcholine in nerves and muscles and destroys synaptic vesicles. The aerosolized form of toxin D is an exceptionally short-lived toxin, often decaying in less than a minute after expulsion from the explosive device. This somewhat limits its potency, but it also ensures the safety of friendly troops in case of proximity. A low residual period reduces the likelihood of compromising non-hostiles. It is capable of entering the body through aspiration or cutaneous vectors. The far more interesting component of toxin D is the neurological agent nested within the molecular structure. It bears marked similarities to lysergic acid diethylamide in terms of affected systems. G-protein coupled receptors, including all known dopamine receptors and adrenoreceptor subtypes, coupled with a modified phencyclidine molecule. Toxin D includes feelings of rage and extreme paranoia. This effect is short-lived as well, often exhibiting pronounced molecular decay within 4 minutes of entering a subject's bloodstream. However, this is more than enough time to precipitate impressive results, especially on a crowded battlefield. Even more exciting is the fact that the chemists have developed a way to synthesize the toxin from several common household agents. It may be difficult to believe, but the simple box of Abraxo securing powder contains nearly 25% of the necessary molecule chains for toxin synthesis. A pharmaceutical from the military division is required as well. Regardless, high levels of production are predicted to be a reality within the year, assuming final testing bears out estimations. The final engineering puzzle was casting a suitable housing for the device. The high-grade military metal employed in the pyroxene family proved unsuitable for the toxin D. The lower explosive potential of the toxin D did not yield satisfactory results when coupled with the thick metal. Ironically, the solution came to me while dining outside one night. I dropped a cheap metal dinner plate, which bent ever so slightly when it struck a concrete support. Cheaper, lighter metal. Not only did it reduce the weight of the toxin D deployables by over 20%, but it reduced production costs by a similar amount.
Oh, so we're just doing fucking chemical warfare now.
Missing briefcase. This is entirely unacceptable. I traveled to the local diner to enjoy a nice bowl of grits and a tall, ice-cold Nuka-Cola, as is my Thursday custom. I brought my briefcase with me in order to review a few of the more esoteric nuances of the Toxin D replacement expulsion shell, and go over the alternate component schematic I've been working on. For safety's sake, I took the Mind Creation machine's ignition piston with me. And what has happened? The unthinkable. I must have left my briefcase at the diner. Never in my 51 years on this planet have I committed an act so careless. I have to be on a plane to Denver in 3 hours. As such, I have no chance to go back to the diner and retrieve it. I shall instruct a member of my house staff to retrieve it post-haste. There will either be a large bonus or a vacant staff position depending on the outcome of the retrieval operation. Foolish. Never was that a word I thought I'd be able to associate with myself. Foolish. H. Manchester.
Oh, I'll do it for you. Foolish. Foolish, foolish, foolish. This fucking guy. Mr. Manchester has an unusual house, to say the least. I found a note where he made mention of the fact that he lost an ignition rod for his mind-making machine. His best guess was that he left it in a diner close to his estate.
I'm pleased with the final state of the detached entertaining area. I wanted a small construction with an unorthodox, refreshing presentation capable of supporting a small number of guests. It was a considerable architectural challenge developing a cross-brace system capable of supporting the fluctuating weight. My final calculations suggest that it could take the weight of a small elephant and still remain stable. That would certainly bring quite a laugh to my guests. I've also taken advantage of the chandeliers to store a key for my new underground lab. Safe, secure, and all but impossible to reach without specialized tools. In the unlikely event that I misplace my existing key, I'm still feeling really for my uncharacteristic forgetfulness at the diner. I'll have no cause for alarm. Dusk is fast approaching. I think it's time to take a moment and enjoy the evening air and quiet up here.
Huh, so there's a key somewhere stashed in here. Okay. There's a couple switches here.
The This old house once knew my children. This old house once knew my wife. This old house was home and comfort as we.
Oh, it just turns on the radio, huh? Said, oh, chandelier. Wait, what? There's a key in there? Fuck. Huh, never seen this book before. Wait, what? Is that him?
There was a long rumble of sound, and it seemed to him that he was falling down a vast and interminable stairway, and somewhere at the bottom he fell into darkness. That much he knew. He had fallen into darkness, and at the instant he knew, he ceased to know. Though I lacked the courage and the time to step into that dark night in the fashion that Mr. Eden did, I can venture to my eternal rest knowing my final act was one of partial absolution. As mankind brings about its own end, I end my own story, content that my body may feed another. And at the instant he knew, he ceased to know. And at the instant he knew, he ceased to know. And at the instant he knew, he ceased to.
So he fucking chose to kill himself rather than deal with whatever came after the bombs dropping. Even though he probably could have survived in a bunker. He was definitely a man of the old world, unwilling to see what could come after. He must have died with his fish. This looks like it used to be a pond.